Hello, my name is Uzair Pavaskar and I'm from University of Wales Trinity of St. David, where I'm going to talk about a CNN-based stock market prediction, which is a neural network based stock market prediction. We will use a previous set of database where we will try to look at the data set and predict a behavior of a stock market. So, as we all know, financial markets are considered as the heart of the economy, in which millions and billions of dollars are being traded every day. So, in this form of stock market, we can clearly have a good prediction where the markets are supposed to behave as they have been by a previous set of database. As we all know, stock market plays an important role in the economic growth of a country and a company. So, analyzing this behavior and predicting the future of the stock market, it would be very helpful for the marketeers and the companies which are allotting their stocks every day. Let's get into it. So let's get into this. So one of the most important problems that the algorithms and the developers had to face in market prediction domain was to extract from financial data. So every data that has been uploaded in this database was actually from a previous set of financial structures into form of currencies or the stocks they were buying, and there are many approaches that has been proposed for this particular problems to overcome this problem for having a good prediction and after analyzing the data. So among the many other modern tools that has been in the market, some are very effective, some are really not that much. I have seen this one module of CNN, the convolution neural network, and this has been recently applied to automate the feature of the market prediction. Such example, if in a New York Stock Exchange market there is a company like a big company like Amazon or Nike or any other big brand has their stocks, so they have a particular set of features which are not going to be changed from a longer time. So these things were used in this convolution neural network to analyze particularly on these stocks. For example, if a small company is trying to get into a stock market which has been recently introduced to the stock market and have a growing stocks, this convolution neural network will analyze their previous examples in the stock. Let's get into the database. So the database that I'm going to talk about is which consists of a wide collection of informations which has a company's historical data, the target market. There are many kinds of market. If anyone knows about a little bit about stock market, there are many types of markets such as Nasdaq, Russell, NYSE, and many other markets and commodities, exchange rate of currencies, and other information related to stocks. These all kind of data are combined into one data set where this algorithm has been performing. And we are going to use this data set to analyze it into such a way that we can make a prediction on a future based model on how the company is going to survive in a long term or in a short term distance. Let's look at the database for now. So this is where the database I have been collected from. It is a UCI machine learning repository. This it consists of all the information and the papers related to it, how the CNN algorithm has been worked on this data set, how they this performed this algorithm on the particular companies and their data sets. So if you check into this data folder, there's the CNN redshift. So we'll get into this. This is where all the databases are performed after the algorithm. So I've taken this one database of New York Stock Exchange, and this is how it looks like. So I'm going to use Tableau for my particular experiment in analysis, and we will going to look into this New York Stock Exchange market and perform an analysis on the data that they have been collecting for us. The algorithm has been performed and we have been collected. Let's look into the database more thoroughly so that we can perform an analysis and we can try to predict the future of these stock markets. As you can see, there are two main key and values which we can use to make our analysis more accurate. For which we can use the name of the company and the date. Date will predict on the right hand side of the column where we will look out on the dates and the company names and how they have been performing in the previous years as the data shows. So let's get into the Tableau workbook. Once you have extracted the database in the Tableau book, it is pretty much simple. After that, I just clean the data, removed all the null values so that we can get more accurate possibilities, accurate values, considering they have been initialized with the algorithm. Once you have extracted and cleaned the database, you can go into the sheet, and this is the analysis that I have been conducted. So this is the particular New York Stock Exchange process data where we can see AAPL, Amazon, AUD, CAFF, and if you want to see some more, then we can just add this into this. And let's check. Okay, so here, so we can see the analytics considering how the company has performed in 2010 till 2017. If you look into this, Amazon was having a downfall, pretty much downfall in 2014, but it has been up since 2015 and 16 and 17. If you want to check into this, we can go more and apply some and medium into this. 1 second. Yeah. So we can see the average line of this. So this is the average performance of Amazon considering the data set. So let's get into this area of focus. So what is the area of focus that we are trying to get into this data set? The area of focus is we are trying to evaluate the data set, removing all the null values and trying to get a pretty good prediction on the database, on the data set, and trying to figure out the values of the data. Visualizing the database. So visualizing it is a very important concept in analytics where if you have the data and you have the accuracy but you cannot visualize the data into a particular format, then non-technical users will not be able to understand what you are trying to conclude. So that's the reason why my key values was date and the company name, so that it was very easy for us to determine where which company has been performing really good or bad considering the bar graphs. So figuring out the two main important aspect of analysis, we will now conclude into the objectives. So main objective of our analysis was to determine the predictions of the future stocks in the NYSE and we used the previous 6 years of database, including the parameters of exchange rate, currencies, accommodations, uh, target market. If we want to analyze between two markets of the same companies, we can still do that by adding the data source where I have the process data of Nasdaq, Russell, S&P. So if you just add this here, this will include two different datas, and then the same companies will have a particular different value set. By using this data, we can have an assumption on the stock market, as the data has already been into the CNN prepped algorithm. So this algorithm has been performed rigorously on this data by considering the historical data of 6 years and many other parameters, including it. So, in conclusion to this presentation, we saw how to perform a quantitative analysis on a data set of NYSE, and how we can predict a future outcome by performing the steps like collecting the data, analyzing, cleansing the data, visualizing the results. Like how we collected the data from the UCI exported library, we analyzed it, we took the main characters, main key values of the database, and then we removed all the null values, trying to figuring out how the database should be working into a particular data set, and then visualizing the results. Thank you so much.